to dive into something pretty cool. We're going to be talking about AI and renewable energy. And I think you'll be surprised by what you learned today. We've got some insights straight from the 2025 Global Open Data and AI Summit in London. And let me tell you, AI is doing some seriously impressive stuff when it comes to clean energy. I mean, AI is already being used to kind of look into the future of renewable energy, to predict just how much power we'll need and how much energy we can actually get from things like solar and wind.
Yeah, it really is like having a crystal ball, but instead of magic. It's all about data. AI can look at weather patterns, past energy use, and even things like, upcoming events in a city to give energy companies crazy accurate forecasts.
So instead of like freaking out when the wind dies down, AI can tell us exactly how much solar power we'll get tomorrow.
Exactly. And that level of accuracy is a total game changer. It's what makes renewable energy sources reliable, and that's what we need if we're serious about ditching fossil fuels.
Okay, so reliable renewable energy means we can actually move towards a cleaner planet. I get it. But could you give me like a real-world example of how this whole prediction thing works?
Sure. Imagine a solar energy company, let's say in Arizona. AI can look at weather forecasts, sunny days, cloudy days, and even things like dust storms to predict, almost down to the kilowatt, how much power those solar panels will generate the next day.
Wow, that's seriously impressive. So they can plan ahead, make sure that energy gets onto the grid, and even sell some back if they have extra.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But hold on a sec. I thought AI was doing even more than just predicting stuff. Doesn't it also help manage the entire power grid in real time?
It does. It's happening right now. Think of it like self-driving cars. But for electricity, AI systems are constantly monitoring the grid, spotting problems before they even happen.
So instead of waiting for a blackout, AI can prevent it altogether. That's a pretty big deal.
It is. And it's all thanks to data. AI can detect anything that could lead to an outage, allowing for, preemptive maintenance. So fewer disruptions, even with those unpredictable renewables, wind and solar.
That makes sense. But where does the AI get all this information from? How does it know what's happening on the grid?
That's where open data comes in. It's like a giant library of information about energy use, the grid, even the weather, all freely available for AI to learn from. The more data it has, the smarter and more effective it gets.
So open data is like this massive instruction manual that's always getting updated.
Exactly. And that's what allows AI to constantly learn and adapt, making the entire energy grid way more efficient, more resilient, and definitely more sustainable.
This is all very cool, but we have to talk about, the elephant in the room. Renewable energy sources like solar and wind, they can be a bit, unreliable. What happens when the sun isn't shining or the wind isn't blowing?
That's the million-dollar question, and you're absolutely right that variability has always been a big challenge for renewable energy. But AI is actually changing that. You can think of AI as like a giant smart battery for the whole grid.
So AI is basically charging this giant battery when there's excess solar or wind power, and then releasing it when we need it.
Exactly. AI is constantly predicting those ups and downs in renewable energy and using that info to manage energy storage in the most efficient way possible.
That's a pretty clever solution.
Yeah.
Impressed. But are investors excited about all this? Are they putting their money where their mouth is, so to speak?
They are. In fact, AI is making renewable energy even more attractive to investors. One of the biggest concerns has always been risk. Will these projects be successful? But AI is changing that perception.
So how's AI making these renewable energy projects less risky?
Well, it can analyze tons of data, past performance, market trends, that sort of thing, to predict how likely a project is to succeed with way more accuracy than before. So investors have more confidence, they know their money is going to be well spent.
Makes sense. If you can show investors that a project will likely succeed, they're going to be much more interested in backing it. And I'm guessing open data plays a role in that too, right? More information equals less risk.
Absolutely. Open data makes the whole market more transparent, giving investors the insights they need to make informed decisions.
Okay, so we've got AI predicting energy needs, managing the grid, and even making renewable energy projects less risky for investors. It's like AI is a superhero for clean energy, but wait, there's more, right? I've heard it's being used to actually improve the technology itself, like making solar panels and wind turbines even better. Is that true?
Oh, it's absolutely true. AI is being used to make everything from solar panels to wind turbines more efficient. It's like giving those technologies a serious upgrade.
That's amazing. Can you give me an example? How is AI making something like a wind turbine better?
Okay, so picture this. A massive wind farm with tons of turbines. Each one needs to be positioned perfectly to capture the most wind.
You don't want them just sitting there if the wind changes direction.
Right. Exactly. And AI can analyze wind patterns, even predict turbulence to help us design turbines that are not just efficient, but also tougher and more durable, able to withstand all kinds of weather.
So they can handle even the wildest winds. That's incredible. But it makes me wonder, is AI also being used to help the people making those big decisions about energy? The policymakers, are they using AI too?
You bet they are. AI is becoming super valuable for anyone making policy decisions in the energy sector.
Really? How so? What kind of guidance is AI giving to the people in charge?
Yeah, imagine this. You're a policymaker and you want to see how different energy policies would actually play out. AI can let you do that. You can run simulations, test different scenarios, like what if we invested more in solar power? Or what would happen if we implemented a carbon tax? AI can crunch the numbers and show you the potential impact of each decision.
That's a game changer. It sounds like AI is helping us make smarter, more effective decisions that can lead to a more sustainable future. This is all so exciting. But I know we've only scratched the surface of what AI can do. What else is out there? What other ways is AI being used to change the world of clean energy?
Well, that's a fantastic question and one that we'll definitely explore more deeply after a short break, so stay tuned.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about how AI isn't just helping us manage renewable energy, it's actually driving innovation in the field, like making the technology itself better. So tell me more about that. How is AI making something like a solar panel even better?
Well, think about a huge solar farm with thousands of panels. They all need to be in the perfect position to catch the most sunlight throughout the day.
Right, you don't want them sitting in the shade all day.
Exactly. And AI can analyze the sun's path, where it's going to be in the sky, the terrain of the land, even nearby buildings, all that stuff to figure out the absolute best placement for each panel so they can get the most energy possible.
It's like AI is this super smart architect for solar farms, making sure everything's in just the right spot. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is. But AI doesn't stop there. It can also analyze all the data from each panel and identify any that aren't working as well as they should be.
So it's like a quality control expert constantly checking up on the solar panels.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And that means maintenance crews can focus on the panels that actually need attention, saving time and resources. It's all about efficiency.
That makes a lot of sense. So I'm guessing this kind of optimization works for wind turbines too, right?
You bet it does. AI can analyze wind patterns and even predict turbulence, which helps us design wind turbines that are not just more efficient, but also much tougher, stronger, and more durable, so they can handle just about anything.
So we're talking wind turbines that can withstand even the craziest weather.
Exactly. AI is helping us push the boundaries of what's possible with renewable energy technology and helping us generate even more clean energy. But of course, like with any powerful technology, there are always questions, concerns.
Yeah, for sure. What are some of the potential downsides to AI being so involved in renewable energy?
Well, there are definitely concerns about things like data privacy, who has access to all that information, and also the potential impact on jobs. Some people are worried that AI could replace human workers, especially in the renewable energy sector.
Those are valid concerns.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important to make sure that all this amazing technology actually benefits everyone and doesn't have any negative side effects.
I totally agree. We need to be having those tough conversations, about ethics and responsibility, and make sure that AI is being developed and used in a way that's fair and benefits everyone.
Makes sense. We want a more sustainable future, but not at the expense of people's jobs or privacy. Hey, speaking of sustainability, we can't talk about renewable energy without talking about the big challenge, climate change.
You're absolutely right. And I think AI has the potential to be a game changer in our fight against climate change.
Okay, I'm listening. How can AI help us tackle this massive global problem?
Well, we've talked about how AI is making renewable energy more efficient and cheaper, which is huge, because that means we can transition away from fossil fuels faster. But AI can also help with things like carbon capture and storage.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. That's the technology that basically pulls carbon dioxide right out of the air, right?
Exactly. And AI can make those systems work even better, more efficient, less expensive. Imagine a world where we could not only reduce our emissions, but actually remove some of the carbon that's already up there.
Wow, that would be incredible. But is that really possible?
It's definitely a big challenge, but the potential is huge with more research and development. AI-powered carbon capture could be a crucial tool in the fight against climate change.
That's really encouraging to hear. It sounds like AI could play a really vital role in creating a more sustainable future. And not just in the energy sector, but in so many other areas too. So this is maybe a little bit of a different question. But how can AI empower everyday people like you and me to get more involved in this transition to clean energy?
That's a great question. And it's actually something that's already happening. Imagine an app on your phone that uses AI to analyze your energy usage and give you personalized tips on how to reduce your carbon footprint. It could tell you things like, hey, run your dishwasher at night when energy is cheaper and greener.
That's a cool idea. I'm always trying to be more eco-friendly, but it's hard to know where to start sometimes.
I know, right? It can feel overwhelming. But AI can help make it easier by breaking it down into small, manageable steps, personalized just for you.
It's like having a little sustainability coach right there in your pocket. I love that. Are there any other ways AI can put the power, literally and figuratively, back into the hands of people?
There are. Picture this, a platform where you can buy and sell energy from your neighbors. Like if you have solar panels and you're generating more energy than you need, you can sell it to someone nearby who might need a little extra. It's like a community-based energy market.
Wow, so we could turn every house into a mini power plant.
That's the idea. It would create a much more decentralized and resilient energy system, with everyone can participate. And AI can manage all the complexities of that system, making sure that everyone's energy needs are met. It's pretty amazing.
It really is. But what about people who are, maybe a little hesitant about AI? They see all this potential, but they're worried about the risks too.
I get it. It's natural to be a little cautious. AI is powerful and we need to be careful with it. But I believe that the benefits for renewable energy and sustainability far outweigh the risks. It's all about using AI responsibly, ethically. We need transparency, accountability, and we need to make sure that it benefits everyone, not just a select few.
That's so important. We need to have those open and honest conversations about AI, the ethical implications,
Yeah.
and make sure that it's developed and used in a way that aligns with our values and goals for a better future.
I couldn't agree more. And that's why things like the Global Open Data and AI Summit are so important. They bring together experts, policymakers, innovators, everyone who has a stake in this, to discuss these critical issues and work together to find solutions.
It sounds like a really valuable event. I think I'll have to check it out.
I definitely recommend it. It's a great opportunity to learn about the latest advancements in AI and how we can use it to create a more sustainable world. It's pretty inspiring.
I bet it is. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, and I have to say, I'm feeling really optimistic about the future of renewable energy. It's clear that AI is playing a huge role in this transition to a cleaner, more sustainable world, and it's exciting to think about all the possibilities. But before we wrap things up, I'd love to hear your final thoughts. What's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember from this conversation?
That's a good question. I think the most important thing to remember is that the future of AI and renewable energy is in our hands. We have the power to shape how this technology is developed and used. And we need to make sure that it's used to create a more sustainable, equitable world for everyone, not just a few.
That's a powerful message, and one that I hope our listeners will take to heart. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. It's been a really enlightening conversation.
It's been my pleasure. And remember, this is just the beginning. There's so much more to explore, so keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep pushing for a better future. We can do this.
Welcome back. So we've been talking about this amazing partnership between AI and renewable energy. But what does it all mean for us, everyday people? Can AI actually help us, live more sustainably?
Absolutely. It already is. Imagine having an app right on your phone that uses AI to track your energy use at home.
Okay.
And then it gives you personalized suggestions for how to, lower your carbon footprint.
Oh, that would be so helpful. I try to make an effort, but sometimes it's hard to know if it's really making a difference.
I know what you mean. AI can make those recommendations super specific and effective. Like maybe it suggests running your dishwasher at night.
Oh, because energy is cheaper then.
Exactly. Or it could remind you to turn off lights when you leave a room. Simple things, but they add up.
I love that. It's like having a little sustainability guru in my pocket, keeping me on track.
That's a great way to put it. It's all about making those small changes that together make a big impact.
So besides this personal energy coach idea, are there other ways AI is putting the power, literally and figuratively, back in the hands of people?
Definitely. Think about this. What if you could sell the extra solar power your house generates to your neighbors?
Wait, really?
Yeah. Like if you have solar panels and you're making more energy than you need, you can sell it to someone nearby.
So we could turn every house into its own tiny power plant.
That's the idea. It creates a much more decentralized energy system, which is
Hmm.
more resilient and reliable.
That's so cool. But I know some people get a little nervous when they hear about AI. You know,
I understand that.
they're concerned about things like privacy and job losses.
Hmm.
What would you say to someone who's a little hesitant about AI's role in all of this?
I think it's totally normal to have those concerns. AI is a powerful technology, and we need to be thoughtful about how we use it. But I believe the potential benefits for the planet, for renewable energy, are just enormous. And it comes down to using it responsibly, ethically.
Right.
We need transparency, accountability, and we need to make sure it benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Couldn't agree more. We need to have those open and honest conversations about AI and make sure we're developing and using it in a way that aligns with, well, with our values.
Exactly. And that's why events like that Global Open Data and AI Summit are so important. Bringing together experts, policymakers, and innovators to discuss these big questions, the ethical side of things.
It sounds like that summit is a really valuable opportunity to really dig into these issues and work towards solutions.
It definitely is. It's inspiring to see so many people coming together to shape the future of AI in a positive way.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, and honestly, I'm feeling really hopeful about the future of renewable energy.
Me too. It's an exciting time.
It's clear that AI is going to play a huge role in creating a cleaner and more sustainable world, and there are so many possibilities to explore. But before we wrap up, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
That's a great question. I think the most important thing is to remember that the future of AI and renewable energy is in our hands. It's up to all of us to shape how this technology is used and to make sure it creates a better world for everyone.
That's a powerful message. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. This has been a truly fascinating conversation.
Thanks for having me.
And for everyone listening, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and remember, the future is bright. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.